Okay, so I'll just try something. Okay, so I'm with Kathleen. Say hello, Kathleen.
Hello, everyone.
And we're going to have a really amazing conversation about Buddhist teaching and practice and what enlightenment's like and all those kinds of things, which would be great. I just wanted, firstly, though, to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed to the channel. Hope you've enjoyed the videos. You're very welcome to leave comments. If you've got any questions you'd like to ask or are there any topics that you'd like covered, then you can leave a comment in the comments section. They are held for review because we don't want anyone putting anything naughty on there, because YouTube is a bit prolific for naughty comments and we don't want naughty comments underneath the Buddhist teaching. So they're held for review. So as long as you don't use rude words and you're not derogatory, you're free to go. So yeah, anything that you'd like to know about, we're very happy to help out if we can. Also, likes and unlikes, the buttons don't work, not using that. This isn't a personality contest. Whether people like it, what we say, or whether they don't like what we say is irrelevant, because the whole thing about the Buddhist teaching is you can find out directly for yourself. So if someone in Belgium doesn't like what we're saying, then that's fair enough. But yes, please feel free to comment. If anyone would like any more involvement with the centre, if they live in the southwest of England or they'd like to come on retreat here, you're very welcome to get in touch. If you'd like to receive instruction here, just get in contact via our website. And also, if you're interested to find out more, you can read my book, Postcards from Beyond, which is available via PayPal on our online bookstore, or you can also get it via Amazon. So once again, thank you for subscribing. Hope you enjoy the videos. And now me and Kathleen are going to have a chat.
I like the idea that you come and find out for yourself. That's really appealing to me, because I'd looked at other things and they were quite dictatorial, and I found this was more suitable for me, in that I liked the idea of investigation and faith, but investigation and finding out for myself, because then I would know what I knew, and I would know I know.
Well, yeah, that's the whole point, isn't it? That's the whole point. The whole point is that you cannot find out through another.
No.
Because the reality to which we're pointed is so intimate. It is utterly intimate, isn't it? It's not. It's not something that is constructed. It's absolutely immediate now and intimate to us, and it's our tendency to avoid and to fill our lives with other distractions, which needs to be held in check. So being so intimate and so immediate, nobody can really. It can't come via any other medium. It's got to be immediate and direct. You have to see it directly for yourself.
It is a very personal thing, and everybody's personal experience of life or conditioning or whatever is completely different to anybody else's. So
But that doesn't mean you can't accept instruction.
No. But I was thinking that there are times where people think, "Oh, I wish I was like her or him or whatever." But actually, you can never be like someone else, because your starting point is so very, very different.
Yes, although, having said that, the Buddhist teaching works on, it describes universal principles, things that are true. I mean, that's what truth is. Truth has to be true to everyone at all times.
Yes.
Irrespective of time and space. So there's this lovely paradox. Well, it's not really a paradox, but there are these two aspects, which is that uniqueness of which you speak, and that everyone's coming from slightly different places, but also similarity, the fact that the Four Noble Truths, people suffer because they crave for life to be different than it is. That's universal.
Yes.
So people might have different ways of going about craving and wanting life to be different, but underlying it is a absolutely, universal principle.
Yes, and I think you can look back at what the Buddha was saying 2,500 years ago, and was all about stress, and it was just sounded very modern when I read that passage. And I thought, no, the human nature, the human condition doesn't really change.
Well, exactly. And in my book, I talk about 21st century Buddha. It's a bit pointless, really, because obviously, I think it's those depression isn't found in any particular era. Depression is a human quality based on ignoring the true nature of life. Anxiety, I think people weren't anxious or stressed out in India on the Ganges plain 2,500 years ago. Of course they were.
Yes.
Everyone's stressed in one way or another.
Yes, and I think that's what happens, isn't it? That whatever it is that you want to be different, even if it's something quite small or something quite large, like if your house has been taken away in a tsunami, or you've just gone out without your hat and you're cold, it's still, although they sound vastly different, they're still the same in the sense that you still want things to be different from the way they are, and that's where the stress and anxiety starts.
Yes.
You can make it, you can go with it, sort of thing, and make it worse, but actually it's still the same starting point, no matter what has happened to you.
Which is in that moment, that is an ignoring of the true nature of that experience.
Yes.
And so you find that walking the path, following the insight path, that your worries and your troubles are very gross and large to begin with, and then in the end you're dealing with such minor little
it's all
irritations and so forth. But it's still exactly the same process at work. And so that's the whole thing about meditation, is it's not about avoiding suffering. True meditation is about acknowledging the suffering that's there in order to see that universal principle at work.
Yes, but I think that's what people do, isn't it? Suffering comes up, even if it's just a thought that you don't like or whatever, and the immediate thing that people want to do is think, how do I get rid of this, or how do I get away from it, instead of just accepting that it's there.
Well, everyone does that for very good reasons, but the reasons are based in a wrong view of the way life is and wrong perceptions, and consequently wrong thought emerges, and they all condition one another. And the wrong idea, the wrong perception is that this is permanent, that this problem, this painful feeling, whatever it might be, will endure endlessly unless I, as this separate entity, do something about it. And all the problems in the world stem from
that.
People jumping in and going, I have to change it, I have to make it different, because otherwise it will just remain like this. When the truth is, things are impermanent. And a true perception. So in the Buddha's teaching, we have this idea of the inversion of perception, that people wrongly perceive things as that which is impermanent as permanent, that which is unsatisfactory as being a source of happiness, that which is non-self to be an impersonal, non-controllable, ultimately to be self and controllable. So the whole purpose of the Buddha's meditation is to firstly deal with the conscious manifestations of that wanting life to be different and learning to not to act in that way, but then to look closely at life before you go and try and manipulate it.
Yes.
In order to correct the misperceptions.
Yes, and